Day. Opening Day. Добре. Ще затваряме ли вратата? Няма да затваряме вратата.
Ами аз бих изцепил.
Чакай си пък я да се нагласа. Good morning, guys. Oh, come on. Good morning. Like a regular good morning. Come on. A good morning, please.
Good morning!
Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay. I would like to greet you on the second day of our National Assembly in the jungle, Sofia. We will go through the stuff that we're going to do today. Сними следващия слайд.
Да.
Добро утро.
Аджендата ще покажа ли след това?
This is the agenda. You have seen it. You know it. First, we will talk about the General Assembly announcement proposals. Then we will go through social impact aid, which will be a discussion with our president. Then we will be voting, for which we will need the local representatives and our scrutinizers. Please be on time. It's crucial. We already have postponed the beginning with half an hour. After that, we will have a short coffee break. Then we will be having some discussions, and hopefully around 3:15 we will be done with our National Assembly.
Кворум. Кворум са.
Now we shall make a quorum check. First, ESN Varna. ESN Nebel. ESN Plovdiv. ESN Sofia University. You sure? ESN Svishtov. ESN Wasaga. ESN UNWE. ESN University of Russia. ESN Varna. Yeah, they're here. ESN Veliko Tarnovo. Okay, thank you. Yes?
I'm sorry. I just wanted to say that, as I promised, we're trying to close the National Assembly around 2 or half past 2 as we start a bit later. What's it meant is that the lunch is going to finish around something before, and not the General Assembly, sorry, the National Assembly itself. Okay, so don't be frightened by the time he said.
Тя почна. Тя трябва да почне.
Еми почваме с Намишо, Social Impact Days. На Social Impact Days Намишо. Първо и след това да тя дойде.
Можем ли да направим процедура да разменим дискусията, която се задио?
Защото тя още не е тук.
Защото тя няма, ама аз ще ходя.
Добре, окей.
Okay, now we continue with the agenda. Our president will show us the GA amendment proposals. Please.
Когато организирате нещо целенасочено и казвате каква е идеята и покажете на хората, предадете някакво знание, тогава вие оказвате много по-голямо въздействие, което те в последствие ще предадат със сигурност нататък. Някои повече, други по-малко. Ако само се видите на парти, да се мотивирате най-много да излезете пак на парти и може да си размените някои приказки. No, hello again. Hello, I'm sorry for keeping you waiting. I hope you have had a great walk at this nice weather outside. International guests, you are mad. You are not responding to my comments. I hope you had a great, you enjoyed the weather outside. Okay. I'm very happy. Well, the session we are holding now is about social impact. It was previewed to be 40 minutes, then 30 minutes. Now it will be 5 minutes. Because we want to highlight the most important things. First, why are we holding this session? Not because we like speaking, but because Evie, what is approaching?
Because very soon we will have social impact days. And the exact dates, as you can see here, are from the 8th until the 21st of May, which is in 2 weeks, basically. Okay. And we decided to have this session, even though it's very short. We decided to have this session because we want to put more attention on the initiative from ESN International, the Social Impact Days, and especially the possibility for you as sections, as volunteers, to organize events, campaigns, whatever you want to do corresponding to our causes. And this is an email that I will forward to you, but I asked to be shared because I wanted to say exactly the dates and also the visual pack. There is a whole pack with materials that can be used for the days. And Misha will talk more about the activities and why they're so important for us.
Before Evie shows you the visual materials, I wanted to share something about the purpose of the Social Impact Days. Is there anyone in this room who could share it? I would like this explanation to come from you, as you already took part in the Social Impact Days. Some of you once, some of you twice. Could anyone explain in short what are the Social Impact Days and what are their purpose? Just say if you have got any idea. There is no, not one only explanation. There are more than one explanation, but please, someone, anyone. Anyone. No one. Okay, then the Social Impact Days are the days during which we have activities that are targeted to have a social impact on the participants, mostly Erasmus students, but also local students and local community. Can you give one example of an impactful event? One example, yes, Kirill.
The one that, like, for example, a party on which, like, we let's say a party that we take an entry, and then the entry fee can go to, like, we can buy some products for the local community, just for example, some detergents, some clothes. It can be anything, and then we distribute it to like a community that is in need, for example. That's it.
Okay, so a pleasant but also an impactful event. Of course, it won't be that impactful if the participants don't know what are you donating for. You explain them, you're doing this with that purpose, you're collecting this money to donate it somewhere for the specific aim. Because there are children or people suffering, or they live in bad atmosphere, or they are poor, or they are unhappy, or they've got no parents or whatever. You say this to the participants, and they know that they are paying this fee for this purpose, and they may get inspired to do the same when they go back to their countries. This is one of the most pleasant events that you mentioned, but it can also be a nice walk in the park, collecting rubbish, or talking about the environment, or talking about inclusion, or whatever. There are thousands of ideas that now we're going to discuss. Where can you also take from? What is the platform where you've got these ideas for impactful events? Activities.esn.org, exactly, ESN activities. Ivan, could you please show us a tab of esnactivities.org?
I have a challenging question.
Yes, if he's got a question.
We had Social Impact Days during the last semester as well. Most of the sections organized events. But do you know how many of these events were registered into the system? More.
Okay, well, we can check that.
We can check, but it was 1 or 2 events.
Yes, one.
And I'm sure the sections did many more events.
Yes. Whoopsie daisy. And I shared with you during the last training, why is this important? This is information that can inspire us, but can also be useful in front of externals. You go to the external office, you go to the international office, show them the data. We had these days of social impact, we had this number of events, we had this impact, this number of participants. We are a strong organization, we are a network. We are not only some people having fun, no, not at all. We've got special activities, we've got social impact, and we can also be very helpful and we can collaborate with you. This is data. How can you prove that you organize many activities? You go to them and say, we organized 5 activities, blah, blah. You've got the platform, you show them the activities, you show them the pictures, the number of participants, everything is there, it's registered. If they are interested, you show them activities in other countries. You say, we collaborate with ESN Romania, they are our buddy country, look how many events they've organized. We can do something together, we can make students happy.
Also, with the activities, there is the calendar where you can find the activities that are already registered. You can find activities that will happen, and you can just go to them. It's really helpful.
Yes, it is a very useful platform. I explained you how it works. You can open it and explore it. It is a very simple platform, and you can also search by countries or by dates. These are the Bulgarian events.
These are only from Sofia University, 5 events registered by the president Mishu, not the other Mishu.
The Mishu, who is not here. A big shout out to ESN Sofia University, not because it is our section here, but because they register activities, the only ones that registered activities. And I don't think ESN Bulgaria had 5 activities for the past year. Dear international guests, please don't spread this information. We've got 5 registered activities. Okay, maybe some organization has got 0, but we've got 5 out of between 50 and 100 events.
For sure.
Between 50 and 100, maybe we've got around 100. Yes? To do what, sorry?
Yes.
No problem. You can register all the activities you wish. It is very simple, the process. When you register one, it starts getting very quick. And as I shared last time, one of the biggest number of events that we registered last year was by myself. The activities related to the ECPE project, Erasmus Generation Participation and Engagement project, which were Erasmus in School activities, local dialogues, the national dialogue, and this is a place to remind you that I made an open call for volunteers who would take part in Erasmus in Schools activities. You see, the social impact days are approaching. We've got 26 schools around Bulgaria that have invited volunteers to organize these Erasmus in Schools activities that we can then also register. We can have a great impact, and next year we can be a very safe partner. We can get invited by different stakeholders. For now, with these 5 events, who can we impress? No one. 5 events. Most of the organizations organize more than 10 events even. We have got 5. So, dear volunteers, we've got amazing opportunities. Please check this post. Please join the Erasmus in Schools activities, and together we can have a great impact. Quick questions, and lastly, Evie for the communication part. Yes?
I have one question. In the sexual requirements of ESN Bulgaria, isn't it written that all sections are mandatory to register the events?
Maybe not. Not yet. They are obliged to hold events, organize events, but not register them in the activities platforms. So it's something that we have to introduce.
But they are aware that it's their responsibility to
That's
register
what
the
it says
events,
about the sexual requirements.
but not maybe written. Maybe.
Yeah, like I wanted to ask if like the sections are actually aware why it's important to register events and activities.
Yes, Nelly, I'm sorry, I think I gave the example already, and we commented it during the last time. I don't want to take any more time of this session. Please register your activities. I cannot say please organize activities, because you are already organizing activities. I don't want to set this obligation to register the activities because then we have to find punishments for you. Please register the activities. We've got hundreds of activities and we can have a greater impact than now. We already have, but we can have an even greater one. And you will see this and you will be very happy one day, in a few months. Okay? Communication, Evie?
Yes, this is, I think, mostly covered. When we talk about activities, I just want to add that it's not only about physical events, it can be also campaigns on social media, for example. Secondly, I said that we have a visual kit with templates that in Canva that can be edited by everyone. So basically, you have the templates, you don't even need to think of a visual to create them. Lastly, by registering these activities, I know that we now repeat this many times, but it's important because maybe at some point you also want to apply for an ESN award. And this would be also a reason to have the activities registered. It's for our visibility and for you to be sure that your efforts as volunteers are appreciated and seen by other volunteers in the network. Because I believe that one of the most beautiful feelings for us as volunteers is to know that we are seen, that our real efforts and motivation and dedication are visible to the others. And it can be a simple registration form. I can also make posts on Instagram for your events, but seeing your events there, it's way more engaging and impactful to all the volunteers in the network. So I believe that this is really our insisting final word, why it's so important and why the Social Impact Day should be more popular among our network here. So be prepared, on the 8th we're starting.
Questions, comments, quickly, we've got no time. Last comment, yes?
A quick comment from yes and Sofia. We plan very cool events and we register them because Sofia is the best city.
Off the record. Okay, well, it's important. We have to register them, please do it. I will push you.
Punish you.
And punish you. Well, thank you very much for your attention and see you after the coffee break. But wait.
No, we don't have the coffee break yet. No, please. First of all, I will have to ask our scrutin. We will not proceed with the voting procedure. I will have to ask our scrutinizers to come forward, please, to verify the voting procedures. We will now have a roll call for the. We'll have a quorum check.
Quorum check?
Да. Добре.
Имам петече, ще ги зумна.
First of all, ESN Nebel. Thank you. ESN Plovdiv. Thank you. ESN Sofia University. Thank you. ESN Svishtov. Thank you. ESN Wasaga. Thank you. ESN UNWE. Thank you. ESN University of Russia. Thank you. ESN Varna. Thank you. ESN Велико Търново. Thank you. Дай само да минем през voting ways. First of all, I would like to present you the voting ways. Горе на... Не. Горе и наляво. Чек. Дайте.
More zoom.
Okay.
More.
It kind of, when you work with TeamViewer, it fucks it. Yep. Sorry about this. Guys, we're now showing you the voting ways of each and every section. I want to point that this information comes from 22nd of March this year. These are the numbers up to 22nd of March 2023. You can see how many members we have and the percentage of each section. Now about the amendments that we have towards the voting part?
Електронно.
Тя може ли на български?
Може. Аре, пишем.
These are the voting proposals that you already have on your section emails. I believe that all of you are already acquainted with them. So I suggest we move on to...
I'm sorry, I propose that you read every
Amendment.
Every amendment.
out loud. It is in Bulgarian, however, but the thing is that people know what they vote for.
Okay, the first amendment is: приемате ли предложенията за промени по правилника на Сдружението относно организационния комитет? Да, не, въздържал се. Това е относно правилника. Приемате ли предложението за промяна на правилника на Сдружението относно датите за провеждане на национално събрание? Да, не, въздържал се. Това е отново за правилника. Приемате ли предложението за промяна по устава на Сдружението относно членските такси на непълноправните членове? Отново да, не, въздържал се. Това е относно устава. Приемате ли козметичните промени по устава на Сдружението? Да, не, въздържал се. Приемате ли козметичните промени по правилника на Сдружението? Sorry? Това е за непълноправните членове. Това говорим за таксите на еразмите.
Това не беше ли на миналия? Не.
Това е от два...
Да, точно.
То е допълване. То е допълнение. Да ги покажем направо. Ванко, можем ли да ги покажем?
Така се казва промяната, това е само за разхода на пластиката. А иначе самата секция е за непълноправните членове.
We're going to show you again the amendments to remind you. Там. Покажи ги пак, изведи ги.
Бързичко да хапва.
А? Да ги. И той вчера ги говорихме. These are all the stuff that we're going to vote on. These are all the stuff that were being said and taught and discussed yesterday. They were all taught yesterday. So let's move on to voting procedure. Приемате ли предложенията за промени по правилника на Сдружението относно организационния комитет? ESN НБУ? Yes. Thank you. ESN Пловдив? Thank you. ESN Sofia University? Thank you. ESN Свищов? Thank you. ESN Ласага? Thank you. ESN UNWE? Thank you. ESN University of Русе? Thank you. ESN Варна? Thank you. ESN Велико Търново? Thank you. Next one. Приемате ли предложението за промяна на правилника на Сдружението относно датите за провеждане на национално събрание? ESN НБУ? Thank you. ESN Пловдив? Thank you. ESN Sofia University? Yes, thank you. ESN Свищов? Thank you. ESN Ласага? Thank you. ESN UNWE? Thank you. ESN University of Русе? Thank you. ESN Варна? Thank you. ESN Велико Търново? Thank you. Next one. Приемате ли предложението за промяна по устава на Сдружението относно членските такси на непълноправните членове? ESN НБУ? Thank you. ESN Пловдив? ESN Sofia University? ESN Свищов? Thank you. ESN Wasaga?
Yes.
Thank you. ESN UNWE?
Yes.
Thank you. ESN University of Ruse?
Yes.
Thank you. ESN Varna? Thank you. ESN Велико Търново? Thank you. Next one. Приемате ли козметичните промени по устава на Сдружението? ESN НБО? Thank you. ESN Пловдив? ESN Sofia University? ESN Свищов? ESN Ласага? ESN UNWE? ESN University of Ruse? ESN Varna? ESN Велико Търново? Thank you. And the last one. Приемате ли козметичните промени по правилника на Сдружението? ESN НБО? Thank you. ESN Пловдив? Thank you. ESN Sofia University? Thank you. ESN Свищов? Thank you. ESN Ласага? Thank you. ESN UNWE? Thank you. ESN University of Ruse? Thank you. ESN Varna? And ESN Велико Търново? Thank you very much. With that being said, we can now go into our coffee break for half an hour. But please be on time. Please be on time. This means that 12 guys, 12:55 you should be here. Thank you.
Печелим време.
А?
Сложено един.
Ми
И откъде спечелихме
Джоко, идеш дедовия, пак няма да иди.
Чиче.
Лошо ли те погледна? Извинявай, ние е било нарочно.
Викам се сбъркаха нещо.
Не, не е било нарочно.
Каза само хата.
Да бе, не,
Викаше едно въздържало да има...
съкъм. Какво било?
Трябваше въздържалци за красота да има.
Нали? Няма. Ние всичките тук сме съгласни. Какво?
Секунда. На Нели сесийката, която беше, само да секунда. Local boards, elections, нещо, което не иска да се допите до нас.
А това кой ще го води?
Нели. Аз всички намеряваме.
Нашата не, Софийската.
И след това националния борд и това е. Има 2-3 сесии.
Can I have your attention, please? Okay, thank you. We shall now proceed with. We shall now proceed with. Аджендата ми дай. Защо я беше отворил?
Sorry.
Ага. Okay, thank you. We shall now proceed with local board elections, and I shall give the floor for this discussion to Nelly.
Hi guys, again. Okay, so the next 3 topics are basically discussions, focusing on the, can we have the agenda please?
Yes.
Visible. So the next 3 topics are discussions, and they're about the local board elections, the stepping into the shoes of the NP, and then section cooperation. We'll try to make them as brief as possible because like we're kind of everyone is kind of like hungry and has to leave. So about the local board elections, I'm actually happy that we have international guests here because probably the reality in their countries is a bit different when it comes to elections. But let me ask the local sections the following question: do you execute your local board elections writing an application? First question. You're not writing a motivation, you're not writing, like, you're not submitting any documents. Any others, like Sofia University?
About motivation?
Yeah, do you write a motivational letter? Like, do you present any, official documents stating your motivation for a specific position?
Yes.
You do.
Different documents, it's a form.
It's a form. Yeah, that also works. What about? You don't? Okay. UNWE? Do you present a motivation or do you fill in a form when you're applying for a local board? Laura? Yeah. Okay. Okay, so 2 out of 9. 2 out of 9 actually have some formal way of electing their next local board. Okay. And when do you usually do that? Кога са ви изборите на хора?
Аз мога да кажа Софийски.
Да, бе.
Okay, so Sofia University has its elections in December, meaning that our election mandate is for 1 calendar year from January to December.
Okay.
Usually January is transition period, but it's officially January to December.
Okay.
Last ago, I was also elected in this year, so this calendar.
What?
In Wasaga, because I was the only new elected member
Okay.
of the board, so my mandate is also from January until December.
Okay. What about UNWE?
September.
September. Okay. Anyone else? Varna?
Unlimited.
End of August? Okay. Why are you organizing your elections for the sections that mentioned this? What about Plovdiv?
September, but we do not.
You don't do elections, but if you would do elections, you would do them in September.
The last, I mean, the people that were positions here right now, usually they're made in September.
Okay. Okay. And the first question to Waseda and Sofia University: why do you do your elections in December? Yeah,
I can. What I know from older members is that the reason they told me that we do them for one calendar year compared to the rest of the Sofia sections is that if you start a new board, then you have the whole summer to prepare the buddy system for the upcoming semester. To be honest, I haven't. It was like an informal discussion, like talking, but that was the only thing we managed to talk about. But that was the main idea. So that you have the whole month of summer to do whatever you want in before summer and after summer in the 2 semesters.
Gabi, can you take notes from the session, please? Because I need those. I need
Yeah,
those.
we have live streaming.
Oh, we also have lesson, but like I would prefer to have it right there. But thank you. What about Wasaga?
In Wasaga, I don't know how it was before. In this situation, it was more because there was a need for someone to fill in the position.
Okay.
Since I became an active member in December, that's why my day started in May.
There. Okay. Okay. Okay.
I can cover hospital how it was before.
Okay.
So before we used to have elections with motivations and everything. Anonymous voting and all the things.
All the
that
procedures.
All the procedures
Okay.
that we do on national level. This probably got lost in the last few years. And it used to be, I think I was elected somewhere in October, and there was about a month of transition, and then the new president, which I think it's a big miss, something that is happening in last right now. The new president signed the new contract with the university. So we would change, and the new president would sign the contract for the next year, and the same would happen again and again. At some point, a little bit after I wasn't part of the board, there weren't people to be elected in October. The old president signed then we elected the new board that wasn't on the contract, and from then on, I think just became more and more of a mess. So yeah, for her, it's usual when you need to fill a position. But then again, what I'm surprised is that her mandate wouldn't end with the previous board, because you know when you elect on national level sometime later, your mandate ends the same time as the rest of them.
Yes.
When they have a full year.
I was just going to add that they told me that when they were electing me, they actually had some kind of election, even though I didn't write any motivation.
Okay.
So they were voting if they are going to accept me as a part of the board.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to ask you. I don't remember where, but there was a document that said that for Sofia University in Wasaga, that's the period, like January, December, like in a calendar year. I remember seeing it somewhere written down, like the election period. Usually, like elections would usually happen, and I remember because all the other sections were like August, September, and us and them or another. I don't know where, but I know there was somewhere.
I think there was a questionnaire a few years back that, because this is a topic that is discussed every year.
Ongoing. It's a very
It's an ongoing
yeah.
thing. I think there was a questionnaire, and probably, because I told you the elections in Massa moved, probably the person that filled this questionnaire answered that our elections are the same one January, because this is just how it happens.
Okay.
There is a difference.
What about the sorry? What about the other sections that mentioned like an eventual approximate period of elections? UWE, Plovdiv, Varna. Why would you do them in the beginning of August, September?
So for UWE, we start our semester on the 15th of September. So that's why it's important for us to have elected our current board before the beginning of the semester.
Okay.
And usually we write motivational letters, like why we should, what's our motivation to be part of the local board, what are we gonna give for the university, for the young students.
Okay. Okay. And why is it important for you to have a functioning, like an elected local board before the beginning of the semester and the year?
So we can set what are their goals, Like what they want to do,
Mhm.
like events or just what they want to bring overall.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I have a question for you. Then does the new board organize the welcome week or what? Does the new board, is the new board that is elected responsible for welcome day and the other activities in the university, or is it all board?
So before, like in the past years, we organized our events for our university, like Welcome Week, because we started in September, so we had Welcome Week in the middle of September, and then we had another events during the other months. But since this year, like ES and Sofia team started organizing general events. So for this semester, we did only one event for during the first week of the semester. That was in the beginning of February. So we can have an event for the Erasmus students, and they can meet each other.
But who's like, if we position ourselves in the beginning of the year, who is responsible for organizing the buddy system and the welcome days? The old board or the new board? Or both?
So first, in September, when we had this transitioning, we did it like with the help of the PAN board, but mostly we did like the buddy system. The vice president was responsible for it, and communication manager, of course, for the social media. And for this semester, that almost no, exactly actually, it hasn't ended yet. Again, like the buddy system, it was with the vice president, but we also helped.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like over.
Okay. Great. What about when you you don't have official elections, but there are new people in the beginning of the semester? Why would you elect them then at the beginning of the semester?
Same as the last university.
Okay.
Because we need to be sure that these people are motivated enough,
Okay.
enough vision for the new semester, for the whole year, semester, and in our case, the new board is the one that is supposed to organize welcome week, events, and buddy system.
That's a whiteboard mark. Great. Okay, so from what I understand here, the reasons people have for holding the elections in December is that so that they have enough time to prepare during the summer the buddy program. But then in February, this is a question towards Wasaga and Sofia University. In February, don't you also hold the buddy program?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, you said to prepare during summer. Do you mean prepare during winter?
No, he said that one of the reasons for the elections to be held, like this is January, this is December, okay? So if you're making the elections here, that means that you have some time in the summer to organize the buddy program. This was his argument, right? So that you are prepared for the beginning of the semester during the summer, right? This was your argument. Yes. Okay. And they're telling me that they are making the elections here, not here, here. So that, this is September, let's say. They're making the elections in September so that they have a newly elected board, they come up with a vision for, or a strategy for the semester. They set their goals, they are more prepared for the whole year. And that's what I got from here, from the discussion so far. Why do you think that it's important for local boards to be elected at the same time? Because this is the main topic of the discussion. Yes?
I would say upward mobility, because of the elections of the national board happen in September, end of August, September.
They happen here. And B gets elected in July, and they have 1 month of transition, which is around the whole of August. and then they enter into position at the end of August, beginning of September. Yes?
I think it's also easier if the local boards are elected at the same time to organize the local boards meeting.
Okay,
where
fantastic.
they can be trained all together for the new positions.
Okay, great. Now this is one of the reasons. Then what happens if you're a local board member and in May here we decide we are opening the call for the national board. What happens if you get elected in December and you have half more mandate? And like, for example, you're a local representative and there is a clear thing in the statutes and standing orders that says that you cannot hold a national board position and a local representative position at the same time. What happens with the rest of your mandate on local board? What happens with the rest of your mandate on national level? Should you decide to apply? I'm asking because like I don't know how.
I guess you won't apply because you can't. Which is the
option. Okay.
The other option is to have both at the same time, which I don't know how it's not. I mean, how okay is that? How practical is that to have it both ways? And the other thing I'm worried about is you end your mandate, you don't become part of the national board, you work for the next year, which means that you have 1 semester of doing nothing because it ends at the end of the year, which means that this period before the next is empty.
Okay, so you're okay.
And probably one more option if you can find someone to take your position as a local position.
Okay.
Then you have to apply for the national board. So someone can take your place.
I want to return a little bit to your previous question, why you were elected at such time. So in Wasik, it was for around November, because the logic back then was that the new people that have been on Erasmus the whole previous year, return in September, they have enough time to become a body for some time to meet with ESN, and then in October they are still very motivated from their Erasmus and they are willing to participate more. So we have some time to them to select them.
Okay.
And then it's just the new people and they have enough time to participate in the body system and transfer it well before you need to organize the next body system. So this was, I think, the logic when the elections were earlier in the world.
Okay. Then I have a question. I'm a local board member and I decide I would like to do a master's or go on a work and travel program or basically do something away from my country which would stop me from, at some point, like if I'm a president, if I'm a vice president, like positions that are very location specific, in like some of the cases, I would decide to do a master's degree or like travel or like change, just, you know, change my location. And I have like the end of the year, I've taken all my exams and everything, and I decide to do that. I have like the summer, you know, chilling, doing my own things, and then in September, it will be the start of a new chapter for me. What happens with the rest of my mandate? Because we already have a very specific example for this that happened last year. That's why I'm asking, what happens with the rest of your mandate? And is this healthy for the organization? Okay, I would accept.
I can answer that,
Yes.
but I was thinking actually. So this is very case specific and I don't feel that you should be asking for that. Everything happens. We have also had people in the local section, in the national level, health reasons, personal reasons, everything. So yes, it's good when you apply for a position to be sure that for the next year you will be able to cover your duties for this position.
Okay.
But honestly, life happens, and as long as you do everything possible to find a new person and to say it straight that you are leaving this position, for me it's still okay. We have, because I know we had a case, we had another case when I was just being PSN, where the NR, which was the national representative, that went to a bunch of events, it was 5 per year, just disappeared. Didn't say anything. Nobody knew where he was alive. And for me,
center of pain, but for me it's always a bigger pain when a person just disappears. If somebody says there is some life change or something happened, I want to do this anymore, you find the solution. If you think there is a person there and he just disposes of your bones, it's way worse.
Okay, then thank you for the argument. I think this is also a very valid point here. I'm trying to spark a discussion so that you share your opinions. If we want our mandates to be as productive as possible, for people to be, to catch people, like you said, to catch people when they're most active, to present them the opportunity whenever they would be most prone to accepting it, when should we hold our elections? December.
Yes. After September.
Okay.
Because, like, for example, I can give a specific case, like for our section, and like all of our active members already catching in the board. And for example, if we do that in September, like, how am I going to find a human resource in September? Like, since like we will have the welcome weeks, the trainings, the buddy meetings, and all those HR valuable processes. And then like after all those processes are done, then like after like people are coming and going, we'll be able to find new buddies, new active members, and then we're going to get people to be our to inherit our positions.
Okay.
Basically, if we do it in September, we just don't have those people.
How long? Like I'm not sure of the answer of this question, but like how long do you think a person should be in ESN before they decide to apply for a local board? I'm asking you like.
I think it depends on.
It depends. Okay.
Some people just like come and they're after their Erasmus fee, like post Erasmus feeling they're
the
like
depression,
already
Okay.
Motivated. Some people take more time.
But it's also related to the knowledge about others.
Exactly.
Because
Okay.
that's
So
why
we
I
have
even
the.
if you're coming from Erasmus and you have post-Erasmus depression, you still don't know the structure of the ESN and what you're supposed to do.
Okay, so can I ask a question?
How many of you became part of the local board less than 2 months after you joined ESN?
Да, тук да. Yes.
But still, at least in my situation, I was volunteering in events before I became an active member, so I had some kind of idea, at least, about the structure.
In my case, I didn't. I just came back from Erasmus. I thought I was just going to be a buddy. I went to National Assembly voting, and a month later I was president, which was too fast, and I don't regret it, but it's still, the more I think about it, the more I don't find it normal.
Okay. So we're having the like. Okay, you got it. Okay, Red.
I'm sorry, I'm asking about the procedure of the discussion. You asked when do you think sections should hold their elections, and I heard answers from 2 sections or 3. So please,
You would invite.
please
I
ask the rest.
accept that absolutely. I would ask you to. I would invite you to come forward, so like we don't hold discussions between 2 people, 3. Okay, UW. Yeah. Arna.
I
Yes.
just have one concern, maybe I don't understand it well, but you don't have transition periods for local board members?
No, it's 1
Usual.
It's 1.
So if you're starting in September, that means that it's after transition period, or are you starting the actual mandate in October? So it's officially starting in October. In the statutes, I mean.
Sections like with the, I'm not sure how many sections have statutes. We're having this discussion so that we put it in the statutes instead of Sofia and Bulgaria. Yes.
Yes, I have the question. Do you have LBT and how do you synchronize with the elections, for example?
NBT.
Election,
Local board.
Yeah, LBM. We usually, like, for the past 2 years, we've held it once per year. We hold it in February over here. We hold it in February.
And it doesn't interfere the fact that you have different periods of election for the boards?
It kind of does, because like the timeline for the national board is very different. You know, we step into position in August, then like by the time LBT comes, we're already halfway through our mandate. It does not make much sense. And then what am I exactly gonna teach those people? How to use Wiki or how to work with people? You know. Yes?
And Remus is in Romania. If you have already half of the mandate, when do you establish the action plan of the country and the strategy of Eastern Bulgaria?
Okay, thank you very much. Because those things have to be considered, right? Like, we are doing this for the sections, and sections should be working, like, even sections should have, like, action plans and strategies, but you know what? Those things, they take time, and, like, even our international guests can tell you, those things, to write them, to be approved, to be voted, etc., those things take time to be constructed, to evaluate what the current situation of the organization is. Because like we have strategies for like 2, 3, 5 years, but then we have to write another strategy, another action plan that's very specific for this specific mandate. And when do you do that? When are you supposed to do that? Transition periods, less active months, holidays. That's a big question, at least for like the national board. Because like like you said it yourself, you have 3 periods that we're making the elections: August, September, October, November, like previous case in Wasaga, and then December, January. And that's when you hold the elections, the open call and everything, and that's usually when you have the transition. I would agree that before, like, there are like pros and cons of having elections before and after the beginning of a semester. Before the beginning of a semester, if you have your elections before the beginning of a semester, you would usually have enough time for transition and what's the next thing? For coming up with a strategy and an action plan for the section, what you would like to focus on more, how you would do it, and that's a decision for the local board to decide in most of the cases, right? But you might be missing the people that come from Erasmus. I'm not sure if this happens before the beginning of the year. You would have both the people that have come back from the first semester and from the second semester, more or less. But you would still be in summer period. People are, still very chill. They don't want to do much things. If you hold it before the second semester, December, January, really depends. Here you have some time for exams. I'm not sure how motivated and willing you will be if you have like 5 or 6 exams to pass, which are like very hard. Like, you always find a way if you are motivated enough, but still. And then what happens if you hold them after the beginning of the semester? Yes.
So I would like to answer your question about the national action plan. It should be, considering the board is elected in July, their action plan for the next year should be voted on by the members on the next platform, which is October, November. They will just vote it. The first for this national board. It's about 3 months for them to prepare it, and it should be the same as the national budget for the next year. So this is for the action plan. And another thing that maybe asked before, just to clarify, when we were electing our local board October and November, we were electing the national board in September, so there wasn't this much. That wasn't that big of a problem for our section specifically, because there were always sections that were electing in other times, and spring and so on, but just for this thing. And we moved them to July and we were supposed to.
Okay, we got the idea why it's important to get, I'm sure, I'm like hoping that the most, if not all of the room got the idea why it's important to hold the elections at the same time for all local boards. But I'm still having the question, when is the best time to have them? Before, after the beginning of a semester, or even at the end of a semester? Before the beginning of a semester? Okay. Aren't we missing people like the post-Erasmus depression if we're holding it before the beginning of a semester?
One, maybe because there are some people who only go, for example, for the first semester. They might not be as many as the ones that return from the second semester, but there are still people who return from the first winter semester.
Okay.
And then when they come back, they have one semester where they can be just volunteers,
Okay.
seeing research
Okay.
and everything. Then probably they're going to be the people from the summer semester who are also returning. They won't have that time to actually be. I actually don't know when they're returning in the beginning of summer, middle of summer, or the end of the summer. But still, I think that in the beginning of summer, around for example July or something like that, could be a period where we will have some people who have returned and have been volunteers, and also people who have returned but haven't been volunteers.
Okay.
So we are going to still have some people to motivate or to choose from for the local boards, even though they're not going to be as many as, for example, in September or October. Or in December when everyone is going to have returned and they were going to have time to be volunteer for some time, but still there's the problem with the national volunteer. So I think that June, July, something like this is one option.
Okay. Yes, I think he was first.
Okay.
Sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Actually, this one is more like how do I say, a side story to say about the mobilities. For me, at least, when I was elected as president in my section, I think I was like, I don't know, 9 months of experience. And I was elected when I did my Erasmus. I was in Istanbul at that time at an Airbnb. I was visiting some friends, and in that night I got elected. So I don't think necessarily it's very impactful for them if they are in Erasmus. If they are still catching up with activity back in Bulgaria, they still can candidate. So
Okay.
this is from my one. And also for CM of Brasov, I think it was the same. He candidated when he was in Erasmus.
Most sections do their elections online, so we can just.
Okay. Okay. But you're saying if this means that if you're already an active member and you're in the network and you already know what's going on,
Yes.
and we, like what Daniela is talking about, is the people that are not that, like either don't know that much about ESN, like they're like at the entry level, like door welcome sign, or the people that have participated in some events and have just general idea of ESN, but they're not that very, knowledgeable of ESN. Do you have, Ivan had something to say? Yeah, go ahead.
I just thought, can this be also combined by what they do for the national boards, like the way that the elections and the dates are set up for them as well?
You can do that, but there is a point in the Statutes of Senior Orders that says that you have to have, I think it was an elected LB, either 30 or 60 days before the next National Assembly. I think it was something like that. That was applied even to, either to only the number of the active members, or both the local board and the active members. But I will have to double check that. Really? Huh? It's both? Okay. Okay.
And also, can this be national? Okay, so then yes, the summer National Assembly, which might not happen ever, can that be used as a
turning point? Like, usually what we can, what I am thinking that we can do is like we hold the National Assembly in July. For this National Assembly, we're taking into consideration the previous local boards, and then after the 30-day period has started already, so that makes less than 30 days before the NA, Local boards can still organize their local, local board elections, but they will be valid for the next National Assembly, not for this one. I'm not sure if I explained this clear.
So the thing for the local representative to be elected 30 days before the National Assembly is the logic when we wrote it like that is even if you have a new person elected, he can either carry the vote or he can come with the old AOR and get how things are going. But the idea was that the new person is the representative. There is no muddy waters. Is this the person the AOR of the section or is the other person the AOR of the section? For the summer that you are discussing the elections, I think from what I've seen, people that return in the summer, even if they are very motivated to be part of PSM, the Erasmus people are not here. And there is a big chance that if you get these people in ESN without the Erasmus students, without the main thing that we all join for, to help the Erasmus students, and you just throw them into these discussions, the politics and everything, I don't think it would be very successful if they just come from Erasmus and there is more than 2 months before Erasmus people and they're just in the ESN structure and everything. So maybe the solution is, first of all, I think there is basically established 2 periods of elections, one before the first semester and one before the second semester.
Yes.
So it might stay the same, and the other thing is, there was a lot of consideration to move the elective platform from the national level to be in July, because everyone is at least 6 months in the local level and so on, but it's that big of a deal that people can be on to positions specifically for the AORs, maybe at the end we should consider also moving to the national level. So
I think that this would be more of a hustle because this platform, the elective platform in July, is bound to the international level.
Yeah, no, for sure there were many reasons to put it in July. It's not just we threw a dart and declared July, but just maybe stop at 2 periods and discuss which is better, because right now March is not an option for anybody to elect a board.
True. Like the discussion is like the hot potatoes over here. Yes.
So, I wanted to remind you that last year during the elective National Assembly, this was the most problematic topic, and we couldn't decide on when to move the elections for all sections. That's why we're holding this discussion here. And I would like to share with you what is the direction. At some point we're going to propose new dates for the elections. We will be happy to hear more from you after this assembly, so that we shape our proposal best. It can be one specific month or period, or they can be 2 periods as well. Whichever we choose, I assure you that it is a matter of time, that we get used to this schedule, and that we start planning and executing our activities in the best way possible, disregarding the date of the elections. So, our main activity is organizing different activities and events. So this shouldn't stop us from doing our volunteering, and I think whichever option we choose, we can continue doing our things the way we do them, although we may need some time to get used to them. So this is a positive thing at the end. There was a big debate last year, but I think that now we can calmly make a better proposal and accept it, and this won't harm anyone.
I have another thing to ask, because I mentioned before the election in Vasco were connected to the contract that the section has with the university. How many of you have contracts with the universities, and do you have a specific time to sign them, or is it just whenever the board changes, or is it just a specific month and whoever is president signs? Do you have this at all?
Plovdiv, UNW, Varna. Varna don't have signed contracts. Plovdiv, do you sign your contracts? No, UNW?
I'm not sure.
You don't. Economics?
Novice.
No, it's not written which dates you have to change the board, but it's a contract from your with you and the university who pays participation fees and so on. So what does it say in the contract?
I think that
Okay, since we are don't have that much time anymore, I would just want to ask the international guests to share how they do it in their countries so that we can wrap up the discussion and continue with the next topic. Yeah?
Okay, so for yes, in Romania, the national board and local board started mainly at the 15th of June. So, at least for the local boards during the month of May and the beginning of June mostly, they have to organize their elections.
Okay.
And then, like in my case, for the peace community, we had the people from the previous mandate have a call, their last call together with the future ones, and yeah, they just get to know each other and press the position, sort of. And then for the summer, they have time to do their action plans, do the knowledge transfer with the previous board, with the local boards, training in July.
Okay.
And then also, towards the end of summer, most of the sections do their recruitment. So by the end of the beginning of the academic year, which is at the beginning of October, the new volunteers are already recruited as well and trained, and they do the welcome weeks and everything.
Okay, great. What about Switzerland?
Actually, it's quite similar to the US now. We have the elective NA for the national board in March, so it's quite early, but we have our own position period till June. So we're not technically taking the position before June. So for June, we can present the action plan, and everything is presented for the next year, even before we start ratings, which is actually quite nice. The local board elections are all around May, beginning of June. So then everybody gets elected. They all have general assemblies in all sections. And then they have the whole summer to first do transition, because it takes a lot of time to do the knowledge transfer from every person to person. Also, they do sometimes transition groups as well, the group transitions. And then they're ready and they start the semester already with their position. They prepare the calendar beginning of September and August, so all the events are set for the semester. Welcome week is ready, and they start the recruitment as well, and start the onboarding of the new members in like mid-September. So it's working well, we have problems with this, but that's how we do it.
What about Turkey?
It is quite the same. On June is all about elections first, and we done the sections, and then all summer it is all about transition, and that's all. For the new members, the sections just choose themselves, because some of them only has open calls once in a year, some of them twice, and some of them maybe a third or fourth time, so we just let them decide. But normally on June, election time for ESM.
Okay. Fantastic. Thank you very much. Moving on to the next topic. I'll give the floor to Mishu. Motion.
Yes, okay. Long time no see. The next topic we have foreseen is stepping into the shoes of the national board. And the third discussion we have for you is about the section cooperation. As we are short on time, I would first like to ask you If anyone has against that, to make the sessions as short as possible, as we also have to respect our guests that are that have taken into account the first version of the agenda and have to leave. I would like to be with you together until the end of the event. So if anyone has to rush and leave before 2:30, please raise your hand so that I have to keep it into account. Take it into account. Anyone leaving before 2:30? That's nice. So we can make the discussions longer than 5-10 minutes, even around 15 minutes. First, about stepping into the shoes of the national board. Why do you think we are organizing this discussion? I'm not telling you first, you are telling us. Because we like speaking? No. Any suggestion? Give suggestions. Be proactive. Good morning. We're in the jungle. I don't hear the jungle. This is more like a peaceful river. Okay. Arnaud, thank you, my future fellow president. Please share with our volunteers why do we organize this session.
I can share that we love the struggle, but sometimes I think local members don't understand what we're doing, what our day-to-day life is as national board members. So it's also a nice way to see what you're doing and maybe understand better the population.
Yes, that's true. But we insisted on holding the session, especially at this assembly. Do you remember, Dani?
Well, because the next national assembly is when there are elections for the new national boards.
Yes. And for the new national board?
Maybe Evie doesn't want to be a communication manager for the
Yes, she got frightened by what you did in the communication area. Yes, so the thing is, we've got a national board, and in order to have a national board, we need to have candidates for the national board. In order to have candidates for the national board, we need people who intend on applying. And how do we have people like that? They are not people who are frightened of the positions, but people who are willing to apply. And if we tell you it is the worst thing, my worst decision in my life, I won't inspire anyone to apply. But this is also a lie. I am just testing you. It is not my worst decision. I've got worse decisions. Yes. So the thing is, we want to share with you, and also you to ask questions. But also a second reason that some of our board members cannot reapply. Why? Yes?
I've heard that we cannot apply for more than 2 years in our office positions for the main ones, which are like president, vice president, financial
manager.
Yes, and I think that now the communication is also going to become.
Okay, you're well informed. Yes, we've got 5 positions, the positions of the national board: president, vice president for internal affairs, vice president for external affairs, financial manager, and the communication manager from the upcoming year can only apply for 2 mandates. This is usually the practice in many organizations, so it is something standard, but they cannot reapply. We've got a few people that were holding this position for 2 years. Actually, not a few, only one person, who is Dani, our financial manager, for 3 more months. We've got Evie, who has been our communication manager for 2 years already. Although she's not prohibited to apply for a 3rd mandate, it is usually something that doesn't happen. You stay for 2 years, then you move somewhere else, to the international level, or you find your other path in ESN or outside of ESN. So this is a standard thing. So we need some fresh blood. We need some new candidates for the national board positions. We need a new financial manager. This is a fact. It's not that I dislike that. We would most probably need some other people that have been for 2 years, like a communication manager maybe, web project administrator maybe, and the empty positions. like project coordinator, like partnership manager, and like what did I say? Yes, education officer and the events coordinator, national events coordinator. It is your
commission. Yeah, audit commission as well, but just to add to what he's saying, all positions are up for grabs, not just the empty ones or the ones that are finishing their second mandate.
Sorry, all positions?
All positions are free.
Absolutely, yes.
It's not just the financial major.
I'm just sharing that we need people for sure. But I have nothing against a few people to stand up against me and say, this guy, Mikhail, he only tells stupid jokes, does nothing, he looks terrible, so I would apply against you. You have not your reasons. I don't mind. It's not a problem. But the thing is, we are having stepping into the shoes of the national board. If you're also interested into the audit commission, we can always ask our audit commission. One person audit commission. Good. So we're giving the floor to you to ask questions. What is interesting to you about our life as a national board? We don't live in the same house, like we said, international, but we have our own life as well as a small organization inside, as a body of the organization. So if you have anything you're interested about, please ask it now or later, but you can do it now. What does this position do? Well, actually, you know what most of the positions do. You can always check it, but there are things that are not written in documents and will never be written in documents.
So can I ask a question?
Okay. Yes, when you ask a question, you can help me get more questions from them.
Okay, so I'm going to ask a question to hopefully open the discussion. Can each of you here tell us what's your favorite and least favorite part of your positions? And it doesn't have to be something written in the description position.
If I'm improper, practically I won't.
He won't start, so somebody else has to say something.
Well, about my position, residential manager, one of the things that I like most is the thing that ESN gave me the opportunity to manage so much money that now I can't. Not that, because this is an experience that no other company will give you. I've managed until now, for 2 years, 70 or 80,000 lira. But no other company will give me this opportunity. So this is an experience that I put in my CV, and every time I go for interview, I would say that thing. And of course, besides the money, I think the traveling for everyone is amazing opportunity to see across the world, to get know more people, and to the national organization to fund your registration fee.
And the least favorite?
The least favorite. Well, but you need to be available most of the time. Not 24/7, but 27.
27.
But I can say good words for him that he is always available for me, so I cannot tell.
Not like
you do your job great.
His girlfriend is not here to say anything on this matter, so.
Better.
She doesn't know about this. She doesn't mind.
What I like most about my position and being in national level, it's actually maybe a bit similar to what Danny said. Being a communication manager for me, it's exactly the opportunity to try out something and to have the trust of the national board and volunteers that I'll create something valuable. I'm saying it because I have never studied anything related to social media, marketing, graphic design, or any of the aspects that I'm doing as a communication manager. So this is really experience that I appreciate, and out used not only in the CV but really in many other aspects. Also as working with the team, with other people. About the travel, I won't mention it again. But it's really about networking, about exactly the specific experience that I didn't receive, let's say from university, I still don't have a diploma, but if I receive one soon, I'll say that half of my university studies is basically ESN and all this experience that is not learned during the lectures that I have, honestly. And what I don't like, I have a list, but I'll keep it short.
The least favorite.
List. I have a ranking, but no, the least favorite is also the fact that I have to be available and flexible. With an example, I need a visual for the next 2 hours. Let's say something like this. That happens. So yeah, I would say it's about it. It's not impossible to manage it in time, but it requires some really effort to make something that is good, beautiful looking, BIM approved, and all the other things. It's not just to make it for 5 minutes and send it to whoever requests it, for example.
For example, Evie, who's still, graduating, I joined ESN relatively late. Throughout my studies, I joined ESN during the 4th year of my bachelor's degree. For me, ESN has a very, very professional aspect to my development. I'm not gonna mention the communities and the friends and the experiences and other things. Okay. So yeah, I'm not gonna mention those things because they're pretty obvious. But for me, what ESN gave me the most is while I was working, I was parallelly simultaneously doing ESN, and I was managing to exchange a lot of good practices between my job and ESN. So whenever I was, actually right now, I am doing at work what I have been doing for the past 3 years, like organizing team buildings and events and stuff like that, and creating a survival guide at work. This, I actually started getting paid for this. Yeah, surprise. Yeah, I don't yeah, so, and another thing that I really like is that ESN is like a playground. Basically, literally like a great playground. You get to do, just because you're representing a big organization, you get to do a lot of things that you would not normally do at your job. I would like to negotiate. I like negotiation, and I don't do that work, and I do that at ESN a lot. So, a field to okay, and then the thing that I least like about my position is that I not being available, I don't have to be available 24/7, but not having the freedom to choose what I want to do. For example, after I get off work, because it's usually an ESN call, a meeting, an event, something like a task, writing an email, or doing something, just not having the freedom to choose, for example, which movie to watch, but that's also my choice. So, not having
yeah, okay. I will try to be as loud and as slow.
You can hear if you want to.
Not the microphone, please. So, as I mentioned, ESN is like a playground and it's very friendly place. To me, it's just the networking and the trainings that we have. It's always been actually trainings because to me the development of the volunteers and of myself has become more important than Erasmus at some point. So this is what I like the most about my position, being able to communicate with those people that I work with, being able to feel like a part of the community also. What I dislike the most, specifically about being a secretary, is that sometimes I feel like I'm annoying and I know I have to send an email, but I really don't want to send an email just for that specific thing because it will spam you and you will hate me. This is one of the things that I don't like about my position, but also it's something that has to be done, so please don't hate me.
Okay. So as a national president, I like most of the things. Which are my favorites? Well, representing a group of that many inspired people is something that it has been inspiring me, and I think it is a mutual process, and this is something that holds me every day. And when I think about ESN, I always think of many people that do put a lot of effort while having fun, and that we make a good friendship with, and I say it is worth it. When I go to externals and when I represent this organization of all of us, of all of you, I feel pride, and I'm really happy with that. What I don't like, most of the things are related to my schedule. They are not related to actual disadvantages of the president position. But let's say that I don't like it when I feel like I am the person making the decision on behalf of the whole national board or on behalf of the whole organization. When I feel like that, when I feel like now or a few times during these 2 days, when I feel like I am the one speaking on behalf of the rest of the people, I like feeling equal to them, although I also feel as president and I also have the initiative sometimes to gather with the national board, but I don't like the feeling of being not being equal with the rest of the national board. When I have the feeling, I don't know what feeling they have, I never ask them, but I got the feeling. That's the problem. Good. So has this raised any question in your heads related to our lives as a national board? Not to the specific position. In the national, being in the national board. No? Okay, Ivan.
I have a different question. How do you manage as a board, as a national board, to divide tasks of other roles that you don't have people for? Like, is it whoever has more time? Is it equal? Like, is it democratic? Is it you just don't do it? Like,
I will remind you, during the last assembly, we voted the action plan with all the tasks distributed among us. That's in theory. In practice, sometimes people cannot manage every task they have, so we need to redistribute them, and this is something we are all human, so sometimes we've got our busy periods and we have to redistribute something, but in theory we've got the action plan with everything distributed among us. We manage somehow. We just don't put a lot of effort into something that is not that important or related to our positions. Well, you can decide. We are 6 people. We can decide. Okay. You had a question.
Yes. I kind of know the answer, but maybe it's interesting for local members. What is for the whole board, in your opinion, the main difference between being a local member and a national member?
You can share. I don't want to speak over.
You're being very democratic today.
You get more opportunities, you get a lot more opportunities, you're responsible for more people and more resources in general. And because when you're a local board, if you make an error, it's not such a big deal, but if you make an error on national board, it will be a bigger deal, not only for us, like for national board, but also for the national organization. And I would say that is for me the big difference.
For me, it's the relationship you have with the volunteers. Like when you're a national board, you become something like a mentor or like somebody people look up to. Also, like in some positions, like very very specifically, you have to also be a leader. So I would say that this is like the scope, like the impact that you make to people. Also the depth of knowledge you have of ESN. It's also very important. It's like a very very big difference between national and local level. But for me, the most important one is basically the relationship you have with the volunteers. And these specific occasions, you have to act as a mentor to those people.
And also that you're written in the government agency, your names.
Yeah, the documents did.
Sorry?
Not everyone.
Your names are in the government agencies.
Okay.
Institutions.
Yes, that I wanted to finally add, that we are also judicially responsible, and we are responsible in front of before all institutions, if there is anything. So if we cannot keep the deadlines they have for us, maybe they will find us. Maybe then you will find us. No? So it is a great opportunity, responsibility.
We fight.
Yes, you can fight against us. So you elected us, you can then de-elect us. Yes.
Yeah, but it's also, as he said, it's not by mistake so much. It's also a great opportunity because on the national level you gain confidence that you don't have the ability to gain on local level. Of course, get on local level, but on national level there is a huge difference, and I do believe, and based on other members that are no longer in the organization, that it definitely gives you a leg up in life, with work, with everything, even if it's nothing connected with DSM. You just go and you are always more confident because at some point of your life you were responsible for 100 volunteers, maybe more with the local level actually. And as Dani said, for more money, yes, the responsibility is very big, but also the return is very big. So I'm even thinking about it. We should go ahead and ask them more personal questions.
Actually, Ellie said it very well, because I only mentioned how big the responsibility is, but this is an amazing opportunity, and I feel like a stronger person now. Although I felt like a strong person last year, how I feel. I was strong. Dani?
I have a comment about Gab's position and what she said about her at least favorite thing. I don't think you should worry about someone hates you. Like there's a nice button that says unsubscribe. If you don't want to receive these emails from our secretary, just unsubscribe the button. And that's for the person next after Gabi. So don't worry about hating you.
We love you.
We love you.
I'm sorry, I don't want to disappoint anyone, but Gabi is the last secretary in Bulgaria.
Yeah, that's why we forgot to mention that the HR position, the HR manager position, the new position in the sport.
Yes, actually,
Who
it shifts.
Who favors to work with the HR resources?
So how would like the vice president and the HR split their? I mean, the HR will be HR, and the vice president will be mainly responsible for.
Well, like this is Yeah, we've been discussing this even with the former vice presidents on the case of Bulgaria. It really, for me, it really depends on how the HR manager and the vice presidents distribute the responsibilities among them. Here the idea is, on an international level, we have the trainings and activities and the network, the vice president will both things. So, like, the way I see it personally, it's the vice president should be responsible for planning of this, like, the whole year, the semester, the events, just think things, like open calls and, the, like, national events and stuff like that. Be responsible for the national trainings, national team buildings, national assemblies as well. And then the HR manager is more working with the sections, helping the vice president, with the trainings and everything, but more ensuring the health of the sections, enforcing most probably and applying the quality assurance of the sections, making sure that like the needs of sections are covered. If anyone has something that can be developed in terms of a tool or anything, this person, if you want to collect information and put together, will find it really depends on the process. And also send emails, mailing lists, all those things that are member specific.
Any other questions? We are open to questions always, so please feel free to approach us. I hope we don't look like beasts and that you avoid us. So please feel free to approach us, to text us. Of course, not 24/7, but 7, something 7. You can text us always, and we'll be happy to respond. And we need you to keep the organization alive. We cannot say, as a national board, we are the last ones responsible for that. Please be proactive. You will also be part of the national board at some point. And you, someone here or here. Yes, or us. Good. And you had something. Okay, comments.
Additional. I was about to say something more out of the positions and out of the responsibilities, because at some point we all mentioned the responsibilities as national board that refers to the question from Arno. And I wanted to say, first of all, not to scare the people that don't have responsibilities and that we're not all enjoying this process on national level. And I can give this with an example. With the previous board from last year. Well, let's say we were then covering all the positions, which happened for the first time.
In a while.
Yeah, a while, which was a miracle. But what I got, especially from my first year, was really the connection between the people, and this is something that will be very valuable for me when I live in Central, because okay, now we're national board for 2 years, it doesn't matter, but in life we will stay in touch probably with these people, not just because we were national level, because we built, I believe, with some of them some other connection, and this ended up even applying for network award. I just wanted to flex with this. We didn't win it, but at the end we made it as a joke. We said, okay, we'll apply for this because we want to show to the network that after all we are people and we are friends, and we are not represented just because of all the things we are speaking during the last 2 days, but because we enjoy our time between us and the time that we have with you now.
Oh.
I can add something in this for when it was my time to apply for the national board, which was already some time ago, how it happened, it's in Sofia and with some other people, we had a great connection. We always see something in the organization that we can improve further, and we kind of talk between each other, and like, okay, I like this position quite a lot, the other person like the other position, and
basically, even from the application point, we were friends before we applied with some of the people, with some of them we became better friends, with some of them the other people. Everybody gives something, so if you see something that even right now you don't particularly like, you can use it as motivation for next time. You're like, oh, I'm going to apply and do this. You can speak with each other. I can see that you know each other, you're friends, so organize it between yourselves. And another thing that they forgot to mention, and I think it's important, we have always had a policy that if you ask for a position, this remains confidential. So if you want to connect with some of them and ask some specifics, they shouldn't go around and be like, oh, this person asked me, or say the other person asked me. So feel free to use the confidence. Privately, it wouldn't be okay for them to discuss who asked them.
I forgot to mention in this assembly that everything that you come and that you approach me and share, if you complain from someone, it will stay among us, or most probably between you and the national court. So it's something to be taken into consideration. Don't worry, approach us. If you ask us to apply for a national president, we won't send an email to the whole network. Oh, this guy, he doesn't think about me, he wants to apply against me. Don't worry, feel free. And the personal aspect is the most inspiring one. That's true. So we'll be happy to have you. At least a few people who are here, most probably reapplying, will be happy to have you. Okay, that's it from this session. Ask us whenever you wish. The last session is about section cooperation. It is about national and international cooperation, but I have a suggestion regarding the time we have left, that we only get examples from our international guests. We can have the discussion about national cooperation at a later stage, at the next assembly, during the monthly call, during another training, before the birthday of ESN Bulgaria. Yes. So that's my proposal. If anyone among you would still like to talk about national cooperation, which means cooperation between sections in Bulgaria, please put up your hand. Okay. So our international guests, can you please share examples of national cooperation in your countries or between different countries that could inspire our volunteers here to organize a similar cooperation?
Do you have the body section system also inside Bulgaria? Yes, Bulgaria?
Not really. We had some sections that were in the relationship, but for some period of time.
Okay, so at least for us, we kind of couple all the 14 sections between them, as Oriana said yesterday, like geographically speaking, actually for Brașov, Pitești, and Bucharest, one of the sections from Bucharest. It's very convenient. We are like a triangle with 100 something kilometers between us, so it's really facilitating our access to us. One thing that we did was the one that always tell about the team building because
yeah, basically we organize team buildings together, and I mean the section cooperation is not only related to the body sections, like any section can cooperate with any other section, and we also just do trips together.
And also trainings.
And also training, yeah.
For example, I am invited in all the sections to help and assist them with trainings. Mostly in Bucharest, they're calling me, all the sections they're calling me to help them. Not only them, even in Sofia I came to assist for some workshops, and in Serbia as well, in Hungary as well, and hopefully people will be there.
we
also we did in the past. It was the winter trip, the trip to Transylvania that we did. We were planning it in advance to know when you were arriving and what to do while visiting Dracula's castle and activities in the area. So we can restart that if possible.
Good question. Okay, any other practice from Romania? That's amazing. What you share? I don't think it was yet discussed, but we kind of formed such a triangle the same way. Maybe it's yes.
We have the same thing. We are matching our sections too, and we have 4 sections of Izmir, and they are working together as Izmir United. They're organizing the NAs or other training events because it's like a chill place in Turkey. But as for whole sections in Turkey, not possible. Yes, because there's lots of sections and lots of people and lots of ideas. But as for Istanbul, 4 or 2 sections work together too, but not as a whole. Yes, in Istanbul there's 15 sections and 2 many ideas. But as far we are matching them for a long-term project. But normally they're only having like 1 event or 2 events together or on, work together on social media. And not that much actually settled. Only for like once or twice for the events. But long term, no.
So if I understand correctly, it is a similar system to the Romanian one, but you cooperate to a lesser extent. Okay, and any international cooperation, section cooperation?
As far as I know, in the last years, nothing so far.
Okay.
You're talking now also about the international one, cooperation between sections? Because we have the newest one established, Iași with Chișinău, if I don't know. Yeah, they have like also written agreement, everything. I don't know exactly the terms of it. I think it's something of developing the human resources, but also like to have them organize events. They have like one close to Chișinău or something like this. So probably they will collaborate with the picture. I forgot to mention it.
But also, in Iași, like they won the award for an exchange program they did with like 3 other countries. I'm not sure what exactly it was about. They got the ESN award for social activity.
Yes. Congratulations to this.
Romania, just the section.
Every section, the section from Eastern Romania, that's what it is. Part of the okay, and
we have a lot of section cooperation happening in Switzerland actually. If I have to keep it short, I think I presented yesterday in the presentation the sectional grants that sections get with the project. They feel like a paper, it's super easy to feel and they can ask money for it, and then they get money just because they're doing it with the section, which is actually a great incentive, and a lot of sections are using it. One other thing that we have in Switzerland is quite cool that I've done it before is the program. It's called ESN Education. It was actually produced by the local section, and every time there's an event, the section opened more spots, like maybe 2 or 3 more spots, and they're open for members from other sections. So people from other sections can join the event. They get a big part of it being paid by the national level, and they join the event as staff of the event. So they basically organize the other section. They have a lot of fun and they get it paid. So it's something that is quite cool, I can say, in terms of collaboration. Otherwise, I would say that the sections are quite close and have 2 international section collaboration. One is between Vintato, which is a quite small section, in Liechtenstein, and another one is from Bulgaria and one in Iran. That's it. But it's mostly this and Switzerland.
So you said one of the collaborations is
Yeah, it's new that I'm trying to reach out because they're so close to Liechtenstein that they're not so outside.
That's great. Have you got any questions to our international guests? As they shared this valuable experience, that's a great input for which I thank you. And now is the time to ask questions. If not, don't be silent forever, but you will got the WhatsApp chat, you can find their numbers, and if they agree, they can get questions from you.
I have a question. Don't listen to me. How active is the ESN Constanța? Can you repeat? The
How
ESN?
active is the ESN Constanța? Well, they are quite active and they receive quite a lot of support from the university to organize their things, but in the past year, they didn't have that many people in the board, they had like only 3 and the president resigned. So they are not doing that great right now, but they are there.
I'm asking because Varna is close to Constanța and I was checking the same thing actually. We can do something together.
It's really the worst for like many years, the discussion. We have something close to the new, close to, so we can do something together with this maybe together. We should reconsider it again, try to do something like training or something. And a lot of the time, our national trainings usually overlap at the same time. With Varna and Russia is close to Varna.
Let me last remind you that with Romania we are building countries and we have had some mutual initiatives. We had a great project last year where again members came and also a few more people from Eastern Romania. We're happy to have guests all the time from Romania. And we also had representatives that went to the National Assembly, I think it was in Bucharest. Yes, Albert and Ioana, they came to our assembly. I will be also happy to attend it once when I have the chance, and I encourage you to also visit ESN Romania as we are buddy countries and they will accept us. That's what I think, what I feel. And it is very nice for our cooperation and for gaining new experience and also getting new ideas.
Visit ESN Turkey and visit ESN Switzerland.
Yes, to visit ESN. Yes, of course. Of course. Don't feel discriminated. The opposite. We're encouraging the collaboration between sections. Not only between countries. Okay, but no more questions. So we're moving to the last part of the National Assembly. We can wait for a few seconds. You can stretch a bit because it's time for the best part. We can stretch, yes, do stretch, don't worry, we are on the same page. Stretch, otherwise some of you will fall asleep in the jungle, the mining jungle. Energize just for the end of the assembly. I don't know.
We're about to here, right?
Yes,
we need sleep.
That's the point. Use that moment.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, while Tetsu is not here, we have one final surprise from one of our international guests, which is very related to our health and well-being cause. Arnaud, it's bringing us something from Switzerland. So maybe before or after the lunch, he would like to share what is exactly.
Can I just say one thing?
Yes, you can. One thing.
One long thing.
Yeah, I'm taking the. Sorry. So I just wanted to say a big thank you to everybody here. Like I really feel welcomed, and that was a super nice NA, and everybody was super welcoming and always asking for insights, which is not something that happens all the time. So first, I just wanted to give you a big thank you. I have some gifts for some people that I wanted to give, and I didn't know when to do it, so it's not appropriate time. First of all, I wanted to give a gift to the OC. I don't know if the OC is here.
No.
Okay, but I have a gift for the OC and especially, yeah. So I have a small bag of chocolate. It's actually a chocolate from where I'm from my village, where I'm from in Fribourg. It's like the famous Villard chocolate, and I wanted to give it to you, also to Martin, because he picked me up at the airport at 1 a.m. So big thank you to Martin. I don't know.
He's coming with the lunch. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, always. Thank you very much.
Like, just for 1 week I was in Switzerland and I couldn't buy anything, so.
Yeah, it's difficult to find them because it's a very
expensive.
I also wanted to give a gift to the chairing team that has to take the minutes and to prepare everything. I think they deserve it as well. It's also chocolate for you. And I have a special gift as well. I hope it will still be in good conditions. It's for the national board. So I heard some rumors that some members of the national level liked cheese. So I have some cheese. Since I didn't want too many fights, I have 2 cans of cheese. They're a little bit melted, but I think if you put it in the fridge, it should be fine. And some chocolate as well. And I have more for everybody as well, so don't worry. So thank you for the NDA as well, for everything, for the invitation and for the warm welcome.
I am having this.
Thank you very much.
So now comes the time for our appreciation round. So if any of you wants to say what they liked about those 2 days, what they didn't like, this is your time now. You can raise your hand and do it. Yeah, sure.
I'm sorry, can you remind the people what is an appreciation round?
Appreciation round is done at every ending of platform, and you appreciate everything what you saw, what you experienced, and you share it with other people. You share your opinions. Yes, Alexander?
Okay, so it was my second time in Bulgaria. The first time I was close to the Golden Sands, so it was mostly like a recreational trip. But Bulgaria is a city that I really want to visit like for a lot of time. And my first kind of appreciation goes to Ivan. I really like your city tour. It was so well done and so well put together. I think I would say the best city tour that I have, better than the Aegean. It's my capital, so I can say it was better. Okay, and the one goes to the OC for everything that is better. The breakfast was amazing, the food was delivered in time, and I had everything that I needed, so it was pretty cool. Also, I really like the party, so it was really nice. And also, my mind goes to the national boards, because you seem very close and really trying to do everything on the line and set together. Also for me right now when you try to remanage the explanation for elections, which got really into me. Usually we discuss discuss more superficial some aspects, although we end something and we structure, but right now I really saw like a really interesting session of brainstorming. So thank you so much guys, it was a very interesting experience and I really loved it. I'll come again.
Oh.
I grew up with you. Love to that.
Yep. Kazal?
It was actually my first event in Bulgaria as an ESN. Hopefully not last, but thank you for everything. I did enjoy everything. Thank you to Ivan again for the tour. It was perfect. Lots of knowledge. And Martin and I think it was too smooth. And I am sure there were lots of problems, but we really didn't feel anything. And thank you for that, and thank you for sharing, team, always caring and helping me. You're the best. And I did see the enemies' faces and the feelings. I can see that you really care about Bulgaria and give your time. So I'm sure that they feel lucky, and I felt lucky to have you and see you in here. And I would love to attend lots of events in Bulgaria, hopefully. So thank you, everyone. It was really a great time, and I did enjoy my time here. So I would love to see you again. So thank you.
Remus?
Okay, so first of all, for me, it's been 4 years since my venture with the NAs Bulgaria started. This university, the same time, each. First of all, I'm thanking the OC because I managed to wake up Martin at 6 a.m. in the morning to ask him how to enter the accommodation. He was just sleepy. I still promised him a coffee, and I'll make him a coffee when he's coming back. OC, yeah, I want to thank you because since our discussion during EGM with the agenda and everything, you managed to hold up the entire agenda, so everything was okay, even though people were like, this is something normal, so don't be upset because of that. This is something normal everywhere. Envy. It's been like 2 weeks since we seen each other during EGM, and then I was exhausted after doing a lot of shit with organizing, and now I'm here just chilling. I'm glad to be here with you guys, to see you and see you chill during the event and after and before. Who else? Also the participants, because they are the main people who are supposed to be here. I'm glad that you had fun and you had the time to meet us and to hopefully to gain some information from us, and I hope to see you at the next NAs and the next international events and hopefully our national assemblies. Hope to see you and see you motivated. So thank you guys. Hopefully more years. Torturing.
Love your torture. Say something. I want to thank everyone who helped in organizing this event, the OC, the city, the national board. This was my first national assembly. For me, this was actually a lot more interesting than people were telling me it's going to be. Like everyone was telling me that it's like more like shitty, boring and stuff. But for me, I learned a lot of things here, and I really enjoyed every part of it. I also want to thank our international guests for sharing their point of view, how they're doing things in their own country, because I think that we can learn a lot from each other.
Yeah.
First of all, I would start by thanking the participants, and I would suggest that at the end we just do a like one appreciation round for OCC and the board, of course. I would like to thank you. You have been like maybe for spending me talking all the time, but you have also been great. The atmosphere in the room was awesome. You were all listening and interested, hopefully.
Bless you.
And of course, the board, the city, the OC, I really appreciate what you did, and from my point of view, everything went as smooth as it possibly could go on the National Assembly.
Yes, I also want to thank everyone that participated so actively with the CTOC, our international guests. All the time I see those faces. So yes, also like the members of our local sections, all the active members. Also. And yes, I just wanted to say that every time, like with every National Assembly, I feel more and more, let's say, comfortable. I feel like I'm with my mom, my dad, and my grandma, for example. Like, we're discussing our problems, and we are like, and I'm feeling like, I don't know, like every one of us is like contributing a little more for the development, not like something big and good. So yeah, thank you so much.
Next one. Okay, we can do. Huh?
Wait, sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I think it is best to do it after we finish all the appreciations, as now, after the participants don't want to share anymore, we have to give the floor to the OC, then the city, then the national board. So we're not over with the appreciation. Don't worry. We can clap as much as we want.
Okay, I shall give the floor to the national board now. OC, okay, find me an OC.
Kids.
Marty is like not here because he went to get.
He's coming in 1 minute. 1 minute. He's
Okay, so he will also say the appreciations.
I'm really sorry. Can you please come to the front? And the other representative of the OC. Okay. Yes, so that you see one of the people responsible for this event.
Do you want to come here to be visible?
To be visible, yes.
Yeah, but for the live stream. You can see your face.
For our viewers.
You can wave at the camera.
Okay,
Yep, sure.
Yeah, I can that, and Marty will say later. So, I'm grateful like for everything that you enjoyed everything because we put a lot of effort. We're 5 of the OC, but 3 of them couldn't come, unfortunately. But they helped remotely. So in order to have this amazing National Assembly, me personally, I couldn't attend like the full National Assembly because I was on a conference yesterday and today, and unfortunately the days like they were the same. So that's why like I just tried to combine things and to be here as much as possible. And yeah, I'm really grateful that you enjoyed everything, that you felt comfortable here, and also for the international guests that everything was alright with your stay, food, and everything. So yeah, thank you very much.
Marty, you checking me? Okay, then. Ladies first. City, yes.
I have a lot to say, so it's a pleasure to be with you guys. I really like what I was saying. This is my first time as I've been in the city before, but I've been in Toronto place, so this is my first time being a speaker. And I just want to thank you for making this so easy for me. And yeah, it's always nice to attend and represent these parts as usual.
Okay.
Okay. As the technical chair, I also thank you all for being here, for really wanting to come to Sofia, experience Sofia the way we do it during the day, during the night, to feel this Bulgarian way of doing things. You have it a very special way. I'm glad that you enjoyed the tour. I'm glad you enjoyed the social program. I'm glad you enjoyed the experience, the sessions, and the atmosphere. I hope to see you soon on the other international events for our guests. For the other Bulgarian people, we'll see each other very soon, as it goes in SN. But thanks to the OC for the organization. Thanks to my city colleagues for supporting me, and the national board for also supporting me. It's the first time making this role, and for making this event the way it was, essentially. So thank you for that.
So I guess it's my turn now. First of all, I want to thank the National Board for giving me the opportunity actually to be the main chair. Next on we have the OC, the great OC, which did a great job. We're really thankful for it. Also, my gorgeous colleagues here, they did a great job all those days and before that. And especially one person that stood kind of behind the curtain, and now she's pretending she doesn't know that I'm talking about her. I want to thank Nelly specifically. Thank you. Thank you very much. Also, the international guests, thank you for coming. We will invite you again. We really liked you. Thank you. And also, the participants, like, this is for you, and this is for us. Thank you very much. Now I give the floor to Marty for the appreciation round.
First of all, I want to thank you for being here and for participating in this platform. Probably I can speak from the name of the OC. We tried everything in order to feel you comfortable and to have the best possible experience on NA. So we hope that you liked all, and you will join us on the next NA, whatever it will be. So yeah, thank you everyone, thanks you.
The National Board, please.
Okay. I also want to thank everyone who came here and participated for being active during these 2 days, and I hope that you go back home with some knowledge, with some new ideas. Hopefully that some part of this assembly inspired you to keep even more engaged in our network. I'm very thankful for the cheering team for making everything smooth despite all the changes that we made. But my biggest and special thanks will go to the OC. Thank you for being so patient, so calm while coordinating this whole process. I felt even more nervous than you, honestly, for helping me out, but you did a great job, and I'm happy that ESN, UNWE, it's hosting such events, so thank you for the efforts. I hope that you do this again, especially for the international guests. I also want to express how happy I am to see you inspiring our volunteers, and I hope that the networking and the possibility to see the way we do things, it's also interesting, and you may take some good examples in your countries. And of course the National Board, thank you for existing.
For being.
For surviving this national assembly together. Do I have to?
Yep.
No. The way he looks at me, it's like, how can you say no?
So gorgeous.
It's so gorgeous. Oh my god. Okay. I'll try to be very, very brief because I'm already very tired. Thank you for everyone for coming, to the international guests and participants. I really hope that you took something from this event, suggestions, ideas, motivation from everybody. I really hope you enjoyed Sofia, Bulgaria, because this is my home university and my home section. Big thank you to the OC and the city, because yeah, there were some glitches, but we made it look like a child's play. Thank you for appreciating our feedback and remarks, general, for improving yourselves, and you actually outdid yourselves. Like the second day, like with every next thing you did, you actually outdid yourselves and you improved. So I really, really am thankful for accepting what we've told you and applying it immediately into practice. This is national here. Homies, boardies, we're all in this together. So yeah, thank you very much for coming and for enjoying the event. I hope we did good questions. And I really hope that we see each other very, very soon at the next National Assembly, national event, international event. There are many of those coming up, so keep the agenda.
I'll be even shorter. Yes, I want to thank the charity and the organization, organizers, of course. This is my home university also. It's very nice to see events like this. But I want to say something else, that we are searching for the next organizers for the next National Assembly, of course, the charity. And one thing that I forgot that I didn't mention the National President report, that we tested something for the first time about the National Assembly, is that charity and the organizers are without participation fee. So we're going to continue this thing, and I hope that this will motivate you even more.
Before I close the National Assembly, I think we can clap for the appreciation until here. Okay. The speech. Well, it is the time for the final speech of this National Assembly. First, in short, my appreciation that goes to everyone. First, for the presence of that many volunteers, representatives of that many sections, of the amazing international guests. We hadn't had that many guests in so much time, so it is an amazing pleasure, an immense pleasure. I am very grateful for this active participation that you had during these 2 days of NA. Now to the OC, special thanks to the whole OC. I think we have great examples that may inspire you to organize a National Assembly at some point. We had great examples for Martin that sadly he couldn't hear about what he was present during the whole time and how he helped everyone, and Laura for the social program, and the rest of the OC that couldn't attend, sadly, to the CT that made it run that smoothly, that we felt that free to express ourselves, to share opinions, and not to rush. To the Audit Commission for being present here at this assembly and to sharing valuable opinion, as well our alumni, let's say a representative of the alumni council is Ivailo, who left, who had to leave a few hours. Yes, members that have a lot of experience, that have been for many years, and his input was also really valuable. Thank you very much for everything. I'd like to also thank the University of National and World Economy for hosting us, and for everyone that made this such a great event. And now for the final words. Well, It's been a really, they've been a really emotional 2 days. During the appreciation, I looked back over these 2 days, and I'm really happy that we had these really fruitful discussions, that we further improved, that we will further cooperate. I'm really happy that this is the result. I hope that this NA in the jungle, that you may have felt a bit chaotically as I promised, I hope that all this energy from the jungle turns into something very beautiful. Thank you all. With these words, I close this National Assembly. All the best, and see you soon.
I just have, sorry, guys. Sorry, I just have 2 more things to say. One is, if there's anyone who hasn't signed in the documents for yesterday or today, you can do it now. Please do it now. And also, the lunch is at the same place that it was yesterday. Thank you.